Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life when the mirror stops answering our questions. A moment when we're awake but not alive, moving but not going anywhere. A moment when we whisper to ourselves, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And if you've ever felt that way, even for a second, then this message is for you. Because the truth is, feeling lost isn't a sign of failure, it's the invitation of a new beginning. And today I want to share with you the mindset, the habits, and the simple disciplines that can pull you out of confusion and put you back on the path of purpose. Stay with me till the end, because the final principle I'll share has the power to rewrite the direction of your life completely. Your lostness is a message, not a curse. When you feel lost, it's easy to believe something is wrong with you. But I want you to remember something. Direction is always born out of discomfort. When a chapter ends, it feels like darkness. But darkness isn't the end. It's the soil where new seeds grow. Instead of panicking, pause, ask yourself, what is this season trying to teach me? Build a routine that works even without motivation. Motivation is a visitor. It comes, it goes, it knocks when it wants. But discipline is a permanent resident. And the best way to stay motivated when you feel lost is to build tiny, repeatable actions. A morning walk, 10 minutes of learning, writing 1 page a day. The size doesn't matter, the consistency does. Because small actions done daily create momentum. And momentum creates direction. Celebrate the small wins to rebuild confidence. When we feel lost, our confidence drains. So the solution is simple. Break the day into victories. Finish something. Anything. A tidy room, a finished task, a promise kept to yourself. Each small win whispers to you, you can do it. And before you know it, the confidence you lost returns stronger than before. Change your environment, change your energy. When you feel lost, the worst thing you can do is surround yourself with people who drain your energy. You need voices that lift, not voices that limit. Sometimes the path becomes visible only after you upgrade the company you keep, because you rise to the level of the conversations around you. Choose wisely. Action creates clarity, not thinking, not worrying. Most people sit and wait for clarity, but clarity doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. Start a new project, learn a new skill, apply for a new opportunity. Do something. Because when you move, even in small steps, life reveals direction 1 step at a time. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to see the next 10 steps. Closing. You may feel lost today, but you are not finished. You may feel confused, but you are not broken. Let this moment be the beginning of your rising. Let your actions rebuild your purpose. And let your discipline carry you to the future you deserve. Remember, being lost is not the end, it is the turning point. There comes a point in every life when confusion feels heavier than failure. Failure is clear, you know what went wrong. But confusion is like standing in the middle of a road covered in fog, not knowing whether to move forward or turn back. You pause, and in that pause, doubt begins to whisper. What if you're not meant for anything greater? But let me tell you this with absolute certainty. Confusion is not life shutting down on you. It is life preparing you for a new direction. Think about the moments when you felt the most lost. Those moments did not come when everything was comfortable, familiar, or predictable. They came when life started stretching you beyond what you knew, beyond your habits, your environment, your thinking. Confusion doesn't show up when you're done. It shows up when you're transitioning. Most people mistake this transition for failure. They panic, they freeze, or worse, they go back to the thing that made them unhappy just because it was familiar. But confusion is not saying, stop. Confusion is saying, look deeper. It's life's way of removing what no longer fits you. It's like outgrowing a pair of shoes. At first, it feels tight, uncomfortable, painful. But the pain isn't the problem, the size is. And the only solution is to step into something bigger. When you feel lost, you're not breaking, you're reshaping. Every breakthrough story begins with confusion. Before an author writes a masterpiece, there is a blank page. Before an inventor changes the world, there is a problem he cannot understand. Before a butterfly flies, there is a caterpillar sitting alone in a dark cocoon, wondering what is happening to its body. Confusion always comes before transformation. The problem is not confusion itself. The problem is how we interpret it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this season preparing me for? Confusion is a mirror. It reveals what you no longer want. It exposes the habits you've outgrown. It shows you the people who no longer align with your direction. It highlights the dreams inside you that you've been ignoring. And this is where your power begins. The moment you stop resisting confusion and start listening to it, that is the moment clarity begins to form. Clarity doesn't come in one loud announcement. It comes in soft hints, a feeling that something needs to change, a desire that keeps pulling you forward, a voice inside saying you're made for more. Don't run from that voice. Don't rush to silence it. Let it guide you. Because the truth is, you don't feel lost when you are failing. You feel lost when you're growing beyond your current level. Confusion is not the end of the story. It is the turning point. It is the moment life whispers, your next chapter is on the way. Stay awake, stay open, stay willing. You are not stuck. You're not finished. You are being redirected toward the place you truly belong. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they feel lost is believing that motivation is the solution. They wait for inspiration to appear like a spark of lightning, hoping it will suddenly give them purpose, clarity, and direction. But motivation is a visitor. It comes when it wants. It leaves when it wants. You cannot build a life on something that's unpredictable. But there is something far more powerful than motivation: your daily routine. Your routine is the architect of your destiny, not your dreams, not your wishes, not your feelings, your habits. Think about this. Every great achievement in history came from small actions repeated over time, not from bursts of excitement, not from sudden waves of motivation, but from consistent daily practice. Even when it felt boring, even when it felt pointless, even when no results were visible yet. When you feel lost, your emotions become unstable. Some days you feel hopeful, some days you feel empty. But a routine gives you a foundation. It gives you something to stand on when everything else feels uncertain. A strong routine says, I may not know where my life is going right now, but I do know what I'm committed to today. And that is powerful. Why routine matters most: when you feel lost, when you're confused, your mind is scattered. You jump from thought to thought, worry to worry. But discipline brings your thoughts back to one place, the present moment. A simple morning routine can pull you out of mental chaos. A small habit can give you structure where confusion tries to create disorder. A consistent action can replace fear with strength. Even something as small as a 10-minute walk, a reading one page a day, while journaling your thoughts, a cleaning your space, a short workout, a drinking water right after waking up. These simple acts don't look like life-changing moves, but they build the foundation for a life-changing mindset, because the secret is this: small wins create inner momentum. And momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Your routine builds who you become. A routine doesn't just change your day, it changes your identity. Every time you complete a small habit, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Walk every morning, you're casting a vote for the healthy you. Read daily, you're voting for the wise you. Write daily, you're voting for the disciplined you. Pray, meditate, reflect, you're voting for the centered you. Your identity doesn't change in one big moment. It changes through hundreds of tiny decisions done quietly and consistently. And here's the beautiful part: your routine keeps taking you forward even on the days you don't feel like moving. Even when you're tired, your routine carries you. Even when you're uncertain, your routine guides you. Even when you're doubting yourself, your routine reminds you of your capability. Your destiny is not built in giant leaps. It's built in daily steps, the power of invisible progress. Most people quit because they don't see results immediately. But progress is often invisible long before it becomes noticeable. The seed grows underground long before the plant breaks the soil. The muscles strengthen long before they show in the mirror. Your habits shape you long before the world sees the change. So when you feel lost, don't chase motivation. Build a routine, because one day, that quiet discipline will lead you exactly to the clarity you've been searching for. When you feel lost, the biggest struggle is not the direction you lack, it's the confidence you lose. You stop trusting your decisions, you second-guess every step, you doubt your abilities, and slowly the voice inside you that once said, "You can do this," starts whispering, "Maybe you can't." That inner voice, your inner compass, guides your life more than anything else. But confusion, failure, comparison, and fear, they all weaken it. And when the compass weakens, life feels directionless. Here's the truth that most people don't realize: your sense of direction doesn't come back all at once. It comes back through small wins. Not through big achievements, not through massive success, not through sudden breakthroughs. Small wins, quiet, simple, ordinary victories rebuild the confidence that confusion breaks down. Why small wins matter so much? Small wins do something powerful to the brain. They create a pattern of success. Even a tiny victory sends a message to your mind: I set a goal and I completed it. I kept a promise to myself. I am capable. That message is more important than the size of the success. When you're lost, you don't need a big win. You need a restore point. You need evidence that you can move forward, that you can finish something, that you still have control. Small wins give you that evidence. Examples of small wins that rebuild confidence: the making your bed, a drinking water first thing in the morning, a walking for 10 minutes, a cleaning one corner of your room, a reading 2 pages, a learning one new fact, the completing one tiny task you've been avoiding, a writing 3 lines in a journal. These aren't life-changing actions individually, but collectively they build something incredible: self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of direction. Small wins break the cycle of feeling lost. When you're confused, the mind goes into a loop. I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do. What if I choose wrong? This mental loop drains your energy. But a small win says, stop thinking, start moving. The moment you move even a little, your mind shifts from fear to action, from hopelessness to possibility, from confusion to progress. That shift is everything. It's like being in a dark room and lighting a small candle. The candle doesn't remove all the darkness, but it gives you enough light to take the next step, and that next step leads to the next one. Small wins create momentum. Momentum is the secret engine of motivation. Once you start winning, no matter how small, your brain wants more of it. One clean corner becomes a clean room. One walk becomes a routine. One finished task becomes a productive day. One good day becomes a week of progress. Momentum turns small actions into big transformations. Small wins rebuild your identity. Every time you complete a small win, you're telling yourself, I am a person who shows up. I am a person who finishes what they start. I am a person who is capable. Identity is not changed through speeches, dreams, or inspiration. It is changed through repeated proof, daily, consistent proof that you are still in control of your life. And with every small win, your inner compass strengthens. Slowly, quietly, steadily, it begins to point you back toward clarity, back toward purpose, back toward the life you're meant to build. When a person feels lost, they often blame themselves. They say, my motivation is weak. My willpower isn't strong enough. I keep getting distracted. I don't know what's wrong with me. But most people never consider the simplest truth. It's not always you. Sometimes it's your environment. Your environment is more powerful than your intentions. It can drain you or fuel you. It can confuse you or guide you. It can shrink you or stretch you. The people you spend time with, the conversations you hear daily, the spaces you sit in, the energy you absorb, these things shape your mindset far more than you realize. You cannot stay motivated if your environment is pulling you backwards. You cannot find clarity if your surroundings are filled with noise. You cannot grow if you are surrounded by people who fear growth. This is why environment is everything. The people around you influence the direction within you. Every person you keep close is either adding to your energy or subtracting from it. There is no neutral influence. Some people drain you without saying a word. Their negativity, their complaints, their lack of ambition, all of it weakens your drive slowly but consistently. Other people lift you simply by existing. Their discipline, their positivity, their hunger, all of it strengthens your vision. The question you must ask is, who am I becoming because of the people around me? If the answer scares you, then your environment is not supporting your destiny. Your surroundings reflect your standards. Look around your room, your desk, your routine, your habits. They all reveal your inner state. A cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. A chaotic space creates chaotic thoughts. A noisy environment makes it impossible to hear your inner voice. Sometimes cleaning your space is not about cleaning. It's about reclaiming mental control. Sometimes organizing your desk is not about neatness. It's about telling your brain, I am ready for clarity. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your environment. Energy is contagious. Protect yours carefully. Motivation is fragile. One negative person, one draining conversation, one toxic environment can destroy a whole week of progress. When you're lost, your energy is even more sensitive. You need people who speak life into you, who challenge you, who remind you of your strengths, who talk about ideas, not gossip, dreams, not complaints, possibilities, not limits. Being around the right people doesn't just inspire you, it gives you permission to believe again. And sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is choosing to walk away from the people, places, and patterns that suffocate your growth. Upgrade your environment, upgrade your life, a powerful truth. You don't need to change your whole life to change your future. You only need to change your environment, read around people who read, or work around people who work, dream around people who dream, train around people who train, be around people who value progress, discipline, learning, and purpose. Because the right environment does not just inspire you, it aligns you, it sharpens your mind, it strengthens your discipline. It makes the next step feel possible again. When you feel lost, upgrading your environment is not optional, it is necessary, because your environment is the mirror of your future. One of the greatest traps in life, especially when you feel lost, is believing that you must have everything figured out before taking a step. You sit, you think, you analyze, you replay your mistakes, you imagine all the wrong possibilities, and soon your mind becomes a maze with no exit. But here is the truth most people never learn. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. Clarity comes from moving. You can sit for days, weeks, months waiting for a perfect plan, a perfect sign, a perfect moment, and nothing will change because life doesn't reward overthinking. Life rewards action. When you feel lost, the worst thing you can do is freeze. The mind becomes your enemy when you allow fear to sit too long. Your thoughts start exaggerating problems, multiplying doubts, and creating fears that don't even exist. But the moment you take a step, even a small step, something incredible happens. The fog in your mind begins to lift. Action cuts through confusion. It interrupts fear. It silences self-doubt. It creates direction. Action creates the answers you're searching for. People often say, when I know what to do, I'll start. But the truth is, when you start, you'll know what to do. You don't discover the right path while sitting still. You discover it by walking. The right opportunities appear only after you take the first step. New ideas come only while you're moving. Confidence grows only when you prove to yourself, I can begin even without perfect clarity. You can't steer a ship that isn't moving. You can't guide a car that's parked. And you can't find life's direction while standing still. Movement creates possibility. Small steps lead to big realizations. Many people think action means taking huge, dramatic steps. No. Action means movement, any movement. For sending one email, for trying one new skill, a making one phone call, a learning for 10 minutes, a starting a small project, a applying for an opportunity, a writing one honest page. These small steps don't look like much, but they open new doors. They reveal what excites you and what doesn't. They show you what's worth pursuing. They help you understand what direction feels right. Every step gives feedback, and feedback gives clarity. Overthinking challenges everything. Action challenges nothing. Overthinking makes you doubt your abilities. It creates problems that haven't happened. It makes every path feel dangerous. It convinces you that doing nothing is safer. But action makes the truth visible. When you act, you learn quickly, was this right for me? Is this something I enjoy? Is this a path that energizes me? Is this something I want more of? You won't know until you move. And once you do, your mind automatically adjusts. It stops guessing and starts understanding. It stops fearing and starts trusting. It stops imagining and starts experiencing. Action builds confidence, and confidence builds clarity. Every movement forward, no matter how small, creates a sense of progress, and progress fuels confidence, and confidence fuels clarity. This is why the people who seem sure of their direction are not more intelligent, not more talented, not more gifted. They simply took more steps. They kept moving until the path revealed itself. You don't need the whole path, only the next step. You don't need to see your future clearly. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need everything mapped out. You just need enough courage to take one step, then another. Life reveals itself gradually, one action at a time. So if you feel lost, to start moving. Start anywhere, start small. Start imperfect, because clarity doesn't come first. Action comes first, clarity follows.